Today's video is brought to you by Card Kingdom, and right now you can get this sweet Scoop Soldier sticker when you order over at cardkingdom.com. Just mention in your order notes that you want a Scoop Soldier sticker when you go to checkout. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Much Abrew About Nothing. So last week, during our deck tags, it was our Modern option that came out on top, Creative Mining. So today, we are heading to Modern to see if, against all odds, Dwarven Mining is actually a legit card in the format with the help of Indomitable Creativity and also Polymorph, turning our lowly little dwarf token into a massive Emrakul, maybe as early as turn 3. So like usual, gonna do a super quick refresher deck. If you want a full breakdown of the deck, check out the instant deck. I'll stick a card in the video, click on it, you can watch the whole breakdown there, and then we'll jump right into the gameplay. Before we do, a super quick reminder, if you enjoy this deck, and you enjoy Much Abrew in general, it would be so cool of you if you could take a second, click that subscribe button down at the bottom of your screen. It's a great way to support the channel and the site for free. So let's talk creative mining, starting with Dwarven Mine. So Dwarven Mine is in our deck for one reason. It makes a 1/1 token, and the idea of this deck is every single land in our deck is either a fetch land that can get Dwarven Mine or a mountain. So once we get 3 lands on the battlefield, Dwarven Mine gonna come into play, gonna make a 1/1, and then we can even speed this up with Farseek. Farseek cannot actually get Dwarven Mine and make a token because it puts land into play tap, but turn 2 Farseek means turn 3 we can make our land drop, we can play Dwarven Mine, it comes into play untapped, we get the 1/1 token, and then we could use Indomitable Creativity and Polymorph for 4 mana to target that token and upgrade that little 1/1 into a massive 15/15 flying Annihilator 6 Emrakul the Eon's Torn. And that is the entire plan of the deck. We are trying to set this up as quickly as possible, do it as consistently as possible, and then use Emrakul to smash our opponent's face and annihilate them out of the game. The rest of the deck, Teferi and Silence, protect our combo. One of the weaknesses of the deck is our opponent can kill our dwarf token in response to Polymorph or Indomitable Creativity and fizzle it. Teferi does not allow that to happen. Same with Silence, we can cast that and then go on the Polymorph plan to make sure the coast is clear, because once we have Emrakul, because it has protection from colored spells, much harder to deal with. Otherwise, Lightning Bolt and Abrew allow us to hopefully stay alive, killing our opponent's stuff in the early game, buying us a bit of time. Remand and Manamorphose, just some tempo plays that also cycle through our deck. Manamorphose can fix our mana, which is a little bit clunky because of the all-mountain plan. Remand just slowing our opponent down a bit. Mana base, mentioned it before, a ton of fetch lands and a ton of mountains, 1 basic mountain, a bunch of shockland mountains, and then the Dwarven Mines themselves. In the sideboard, we have Through the Breach and Emrakul, which can come in and help us fight through hate cards, things like Grafdigger's Cage, removal heavy decks that can kill our token in response to Polymorph. We just bring in more Emrakuls, bring in Through the Breach, put Emrakul into play from our hand with haste. Veil of Summer gives us more protection. Wear Tear, Ancient Grudge to deal with artifacts and enchantments. Rest in peace for the degenerate graveyard decks. And that is Creative Mining for Modern. And that's our Much Abrew deck for this week. So let's jump into some games, see if Dwarven Mine is actually the newest Modern staple. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoy it. And I'll be back in a bit with a wrap up. All right. Much Abrew About Nothing time. We are mining creatively in Modern, and we're gonna ship this. It just doesn't do anything. All right, this is better. We do need 1 more land, but we have Polymorph, Dwarven Mine. We're gonna put Silence, I think, to the bottom in the dark, and all right, give us a land. We need 1 more land for this Dwarven Mine to come into play untapped. If we don't draw a land, I guess we can play this so we can play Teferi and try to draw into another land. We'll see what our opponent's up to. Street Wraith. Oh boy. Here comes the discard, I presume. Silent Clearing. Thoughtseize. Alright. Well, that'll slow us down a bit. So it looks like our opponent's probably Death Shadow. Street Wraith usually means Death Shadow. Takes the Polymorph. And what do we draw? Let's play Scalding Tarn. Pass a turn. Well, we're going to have the lands we need to turn on Dwarven Mine. What we don't have is a way to get an Emrakul. Don't it? Godless Ride. Tide Hollow Sculler. Sure. Yeah. So opponent gets their choice. Takes a Braid. Well, Scalding Tarn. Get a Stomping Ground tapped. What do we draw? Sacred Foundry. Not super helpful. Well, Steam Vents untapped. I think we're just going to play Teferi and bounce Tide Hollow, draw a card. Okay, Lightning Bolt's not bad. Lightning Bolt means we are going to have an answer for this Tide Hollow Scholar. So we need a polymorph. We need a polymorph effect. That is what we were missing. Polymorph, Indomitable Creativity, either one. Opponent, Blood Gripped, untap, down to dead. Tide Hollow Scholar can take one of our 2 removal spells. Takes a Braid. And there's the Death Shadow. That's not great for us. Opponent passes. Well, take up to Fairy. Dwarven Mine. Pass the turn. But we don't have a way to turn it into an Emrakul at the moment. We've just drawn all lands. Oh, we had it too, but that Thoughtseize got us. Opponent goes to combat. Going after Teferi. Well, we will Bolt Tide Hollow. Get back our Braid. And I think we actually just chump. We can make more tokens. Keep Teferi alive. Oh, so we have 7 I Win cards in the deck. Come on, show us a creativity. Another Death Shadow. Oh, we're gonna have to find one soon. Oh no, oh dear. Oh, well, triple Death Shadow draw is bad. Bad news. Farseek. Yeah, I think this probably means we're dead. Well, triple Death Shadow! And our deck just not finding a way to win. Not ideal. Bonnet. Combat. Everything at us. Yeah, there's no way we can win now. Well, there's still basically no way we can win. Crack Scalding Tarn, get a Dwarven Mine, make a 1/1. So chumping keeps us alive. The problem is we don't have a way we can win. Like, even drawing Emrakul or something isn't going to let us win a polymorph or anything, because we don't have a token anymore. But if we don't do this, we're just dead on board. So this technically lets us live another turn. Or maybe it doesn't. Yeah. Alright, so opponents with the Street Wraith has lethal anyways. Sure. Okay. Well, that's a little disappointing. Also, somewhat disappointing, we don't have really good ways of interacting with what our opponent's doing. Let's bring in Veil of Summers. Rest in peace. Are we bringing in Through the Breaches and Emrakuls? Just, like, increasing the cards that can win us the game? Maybe we go down, like, Manamorphose, Lightning Bolt? Yeah, alright, let's go full-on cheaty plan. Because we don't have a way to deal with Death Shadow. We just do not have a removal spell that can do it. So, our way of removing a Death Shadow is annihilating our opponent in one way or another with Emrakul. We made some dwarves. We didn't win any games, though. Or, we didn't win the game, though. Alright, so we get to play first. Well, we'll keep it. We potentially have multiple ways to put an Emrakul into play. See how many Thoughtseize our opponent has. We would really like to resolve this Farseek. That would be helpful. Our hand is... So our putting an Emrakul into play plan is pretty resilient to a Thoughtseize at the moment. The sketchier part is our being able to cast anything plan is a little bit soft to Thoughtseize. If we lose this Farseek, we might just never get enough mana to do our things. And our opponent's deck is built around discard. That is kind of one of the themes of Death Shadow. Our opponent's even got Tide Hollows going in their deck. Well, we will play Stomping Grounds tapped. Pass the turn. Opponent. Street Wraith, down to 18. Marsh Flats. Cracks at 17. Untap land, 15. And Giver of Runes. Alright, that's fine. Well, Arid Mesa. Crack Arid Mesa. I think we're just going for it. Take a mountain. Farseek. Take a Steam Vents. Alright, pass the turn. I mean, we're set up for turn 3 Emrakul. Arid Mesa, Dwarven Mine, Polymorph, Emrakul. We'll see what our opponent can do. Otherwise, we can wait one more land and try to breach in Emrakul. Opponent. Silent Clearing. Gets in, hits us. Down to 18. And passes. I think we gotta wait. And leave up... Well, I think we wait and leave up Remand. Our opponent, so a removal spell fizzles our Polymorph. We can wait, leave up Remand for Tide Hollow Scholar, and then hopefully just win with Breach. Opponent. And Breach is going to be a lot harder for our opponent to interact with. Gets in, hits us. 17. Passes. Well, Arid Mesa. Crack it. Dwarven Mine. Get a 1/1. And yeah, I mean, we're just going to try to win. Emrakul? Breach? Emrakul? Attack ya? Dwarf even gives a buffer for an edict effect. Swing. Annihilate. Opponent's out at 15 because they are Death Shadow. And alright. The sideboard plan worked. That's what the deck can do. Removing the Death Shadows by removing our opponent, as Krim would say. Alright, that was reasonable. Remand actually doesn't seem great. Maybe we keep in Lightning Bolts. Lightning Bolt might just be better than Remand. Alright, on to game number 3. We are on the draw. I mean, this deck feels fairly powerful. I'll give it that. It does feel like it can do powerful things. But then we're playing Modern, where a lot of decks can do powerful things. I think we're going to have to mulligan this. Lightning Bolt is not good enough in the Death Shadow matchup for us to keep. Alright. We will keep. We will put the... Let's put Stomping Grounds to the bottom. And see what our opponent's got. It would be nice to get our opponent with this Veil of Summer. But we are on the draw, so if our opponent has discard, we can't cast it turn 1, unfortunately. Opponent. Godler Shrine. And there's an Inquisition. Ugh. If only we had won the die roll. Yeah. Alright. So there goes our... I don't even know. Something will be going away. Takes a fairy. Opponent passes. Well, there's a creativity. Arid Mesa, go. I mean, this hand can get it to an Emrakul. Silent Clearing, maybe. We have the creativity. We don't have much else. Opponent going to pass. Well, crack Arid Mesa. Take a Stomping Grounds. Untap. Well, there's the Polymorph. Alright, so we have multiple ways to try to make an Emrakul. Although, they are all disruptible by removal spells if our opponent leaves mana up. That's where having a Teferi on the battlefield is nice. It protects us from removal blowing out our Polymorphs. And Indomitable Creativities. Opponent. One I got. They know about Veil of Summer, so I'm guessing they're not just going to play into it, but you never know. Fozzie's as opponent. I dare ya. Double dog dare ya. Oh, they kind of did. Well... Boom. Veil of Summer. We draw Dwarven Mine. I'll play Arid Mesa. Pass the turn. Oh boy, this is going to be close. Opponent. Adapts. Marsh Flats. Tide Hallow's Color. This is actually okay, because I think... Oh boy, this is going to be so close. Opponent. Sure. Can take something, but we have the Bolt. We're still soft to Fatal Push. Takes a Bolt. Alright, opponent. Tap out. Tap out. I think we just gotta slam it. I don't know if it'll work. There are things that ruin it, like Fatal Push. I mean, we'll see what we draw. Maybe we draw something that changes our tune. Arid Mesa cracked. Get a Sacred Foundry. Untap. Ooh. Alright. That does change our plans. Play Teferi. Tick up Teferi. Bloodstained Mire. Pass the turn. So we're going to wait an extra turn to try to be able to protect ourselves from removal with Teferi. This hopefully sets us up to end step a creativity. About it. Combat. Gets in at Teferi. Yeah. Worst case, if they manage to, like, kill Teferi with Tide Hollow plus Bolt, we can double Dwarven Mine and creativity to at least make our opponent just have, like, a whole grip full of removal. Okay, Tide Hollow. Well, can take one of the two. Yeah, takes creativity. Opponent passes. Ooh, and a Veil of Summer. That's very interesting. Well, we will take up Teferi. Play a Dwarven Mine. Pass the turn. I think we're gonna get there. Bloodstained Mire is another Dwarven Mine. I think we're doing it. I think we're doing it. Oh, come on. Come on. So what I'd like to do is just wait till end step with a Teferi out, and then we're basically guaranteed to win. We'll see if it works out that way. Opponent. Combat. Both at Teferi. Okay. Block. Come on. End of turn. End of turn for the win. Opponent. Cycles Unearth. Yeah, that's pretty desperate. Cycles Street Wraith. Death Shadow is acceptable. Death Shadow. Oh, we got there, I believe. End of turn. Crack Bloodstained Mire. Get a Dwarven Mine. make a 1/1 polymorph. Emrakul. Whoo! That was close. Emrakul comes into play, and we will annihilate for the win. We don't even need to annihilate, really. Whoo! The Teferi protection. All right. Well, that is a good example of what our deck can do. We could have went for it earlier, and we probably would have lost. But by waiting and getting Teferi for protection and be able to end our opponent's end of turn our Emrakul, that makes it much harder to deal with and much more guaranteed. Whoo! All right. Not bad. Not bad for creative mining. Whew. Well, Emrakul's still good. we confirm that. Sweet. All right. Much brew about nothing time. We are creatively mining in Modern, and this hand doesn't combo, but we do have cycling. We have enough lands to... I'm actually like kind of tempted to keep this. I think we're gonna keep this. We don't have a Indomitable Creativity, but Teferis are good. They offer protection, and we have enough lands to get Dwarven Mining going. So basically, we just gotta cantrip into a Creativity. Looks like we're up against blue-white control. This should be interesting. I like the double Teferi hand against blue-white, assuming we can resolve it. See what our opponent has. Steam Vents tapped. Say Scalding Tard, go. In a perfect world, our opponent taps out for something that we get to tap out for Teferi, and then we're happy. This works. Scalding Tard, crack it. Take a Steam Vents, untapped, and Remand Teferi, untap. Sacred Foundry, untapped. Run out Teferi. Take up Teferi, pass the turn. Flooded Strand for opponent, cracks it. Snow-covered island. And Teferi. Alright, Teferi's all around. And opt. Well, we'll see what happens. Opponent's Teferi is obnoxious. Well, let's see what we draw. We untap. Silence. That would be better if there wasn't a Teferi on the battlefield. Let's Manamorphose. We wanted to add green there, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Arid Mesa. Crack Arid Mesa. Get a Stomping Grounds. Untapped. Take down Teferi to draw a card. Farseek. Get a Steam Vents. Lightning Bolt Teferi. The bigger issue we have here is that our opponent's Planeswalkers can answer our Emrakul. So we can polymorph into Emrakul, but Teferi's going to be able to bounce it. Opponent takes up Teferi. Felidar Guardian. Going to blink Teferi. Yeah. Takes up Teferi. We draw. That's unfortunate. Was not expecting the Felidar Guardian. Yeah, we might have misplayed. We can't get rid of this Teferi. Ugh. What can we do? Is there anything we can do? We can take up Teferi. Play a new Teferi. Bounce Felidar Guardian. Draw Emrakul. Play Scalding Tard, pass the turn. We could have polymorphed into an Emrakul. The problem is we can't win because Teferi just can bounce it. So we're in a really awkward spot. I was thinking our opponent was just a Jeskai control deck. I was not expecting Felidar Guardian. In the end, we should have, I guess, held on to the Lightning Bolts, but I just was not expecting Felidar Guardian to be a card that our opponent could have. And apparently it is a card that they can have and do have. Because this Teferi, even though Emrakul has protection from colored spells, on the battlefield, Teferi's not a spell. Well, all the silences in the world don't especially help here. Alright, pass the turn. I'm expecting we just get copycatted here. So Healy, yeah. Well, opponent had the protection for their combo. Ugh, awkward. Well, we're going to bring him through the breaches and Emrakul's. Silence does not feel great. It feels like a card that should be great, but it's actually not great because our opponent has Teferis. Let's go down the silences and go up to Veil of Summers and run it like that. All right. Well, Teferi is a good way to protect your combos. We saw our opponent doing it. Same thing we're doing, basically. The big difference is their combo wins immediately, when ours, if there's a Teferi on the battlefield, does not. Well, I think we keep this. We have Dwarven Mining Creativity. We don't have a way to stop Teferi from bouncing our stuff. We can potentially use Veil of Summer as protection. I'll crack this, grab a Stomping Grounds, tapped. Untap. Steam Vents, tapped. Pass the turn. Yeah, we could use a Teferi. I guess the way you beat a Teferi is have your own Teferi, potentially. Opponent. Our deck seems worse in matchups where Emrakul is not a guaranteed win. Alright, mount and go. Awkward. Does our opponent have Teferi? Land. Stoneforge Mystic. Gets a Sword of Feast and Famine. Well, let's Farseek. I think we gotta wait another turn before we do this. Farseek, grab a Sacred Foundry tapped. Arid Mesa, pass the turn. Opponent. So next turn we can get an Emrakul with protection from a counter spell, thanks to Veil of Summer. Well, crack, Arid Mesa. Get a Dwarven Mine. Make a 1/1. Untap. Play Dwarven Mine. Make a 1/1. Manamorphose. Add some mana. Well, let's Creativity. Does our opponent have more counters? So Spell Pierce had Creativity. Okay, resolves. Can't be countered. Hit an Emrakul. One shuffles back in. Alright, pass the turn. Alright, no Teferis. No Teferis, please. Opponent's gonna put their equipment into play. That's acceptable. No Teferi to bounce the Emrakul. Please, please. We fought through the counter. Opponent plays a land. Stoneforge. That's acceptable. That's not a Teferi. We do not care about random equipment. Like, that's not a concern. Batter Skull. Oh, opponent passes? Okay. Oh, now we're where we want to be. We draw an Emrakul. Well, go to combat, attack, annihilate. Opponent's going to put a Batter Skull into play. Opponent's fighting the good fight, but I think that we got there. The Veil of Summer. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, opponent's trying to survive the Emrakul attack, but one of the nice things about the Polymorph plan is Emrakul's permanent. Like, it's not going away like if it was through the Breached. And now I think we got it, because even if our opponent has a Teferi, we can remand it, so we should be good. And opponent scoops it up. All right. Whew! We found a way to fight through. Well, that went better. That went much better. Do we care about our opponent's equipment in Stoneforge? Is that something we want to be fighting over? Veil of Summer felt pretty good. Maybe we can trim, like, Manamorphose, bring in the Veil of Summer, maybe go down a Creativity or 2. Maybe we go 3 Breaches, 6 Polymorph / Creativities. Let's try it like that, and keep a couple... Maybe we're overreacting. Let's bring in 1 Abrade. And I guess we can maybe go down a Lightning Bolt for Abrade. Ugh. So the tough part here is Abrade kills Batter Skulls in the equipment, which is relevant. But Lightning Bolt can actually kill a Planeswalker, which, as we saw in Game 1, where Teferi kind of made things very difficult. Yeah, let's stick with Bolt. All right, run it like that. All right, Hearthstone battle. No one can play instant speed. No counter spells allowed. I think we actually keep this. We can deal with, like, a Stoneforge. We have a Veil of Summer. We got a Teferi. Those are all cards that we kind of want. Stomping Grounds tapped. Pass the turn. Opponent grabs an island and ups. Sure. We would like to draw into an Emrakul since we have this through the Breach. Opponent went to the bottom. Scalding Tarn and passes. And let's Arid Mesa go. Opponent cracks Scalding Tarn. Hallowed Fountain tapped. And more ups. All right, opponents, getting things set up. Definitely worried about our opponent's combo. That is scary, especially if they find a Teferi. Opponent plays a tap land and passing. I'll crack Arid Mesa. Sacred Foundry tapped. Untap. Do we want to play a Teferi into a potential counter spell? Let's Steam Vents. Untapped. Manamorphose. See what we draw. A Bolt. Yeah, let's do it. I think we're okay with getting a counter out of our opponent's hand. Opponent remands. Yeah, well, pass the turn. What you got, opponent? Saheeli. Gonna do some scrying to the top and a Flooded Strand. Oh, Emrakul, but we need another land. Well, play Scalding Tarn. Crack Scalding Tarn. Get a Dwarven Mine. Make a 1/1. Teferi. Take up Teferi. Pass the turn. All right. This is going to be close. Opponent cracks. Mystic Sanctuary. Going to get an opt. Sure. This is fine. Opponent opts. Yeah. I mean, if our opponent passes here and the board state is as it is, we're definitely going to Veil of Summer, because if we hit a land, we just get to Breach Emrakul, and that's game. We can also take down a Teferi to try to hit a land. Opponent going to scry with Saheeli. Opponent put the card to the bottom with Opt. Leaves it on top. Plays a land. Felidar Guardian. Okay. Saheeli blinks. Opponent goes to copy, so we need to bolt Saheeli. Come on, land. Land for the win. Presumably. With Teferi, definitely. All right, opponent. What you got? We dodged the combo. If our opponent had a Teferi there, we were done. Like, we couldn't interact with the combo, but Lightning Bolt does stop the combo if our opponent doesn't have Teferi. And they were also tapped out, which didn't help. And we had didn't hurt, and we had a Teferi, so. All right, opponent. Trying to think about what to blink. I mean, blink this Mystic Sanctuary to get back, like, an Opt again, I guess? Although, like, none of this matters. If we hit a land, we annihilate our opponent's entire board, the game just ends. We get our draw step, plus we get our Teferi draw if we need to. I guess the other good news is we dodge the combo, so if we whiff, which would be unfortunate, but if we do whiff, it's not just game necessarily. What do you got, opponent? Considering what to do with this Felidar Guardian still. Yeah, gonna blink the Mystic Sanctuary, sure. To get back an Opt. Yeah, combat. Well, I assume they hit Teferi. Down to 4. Well, come on, land. Come on, land for Emrakul. We draw. Breach. Well, bounce Felidar Guardian. There it is. There it is. Arid Mesa. Crack Arid Mesa. Take a mountain. It doesn't really matter. We just win here. Take a mountain. Breach. Emrakul. Attack you to 1. Annihilate your board, and that should do it. Opponent technically isn't dead, but at 1 life and no permanents, they might as well be. And opponent scoops it up. All right, Creative Mining. Fighting through other combo decks, and maybe this deck is actually pretty good. It is kind of interesting to play. It is a little like putting together the pieces of a puzzle, and the reward for getting all the pieces together is annihilating Emrakul. All right, sweet. All right. Much Abrew about nothing time. Ew. We will mulligan with Creative Mining. Basically, sneaking Emrakuls into play. We will keep this. This actually is decent. We'll put Emrakul to the bottom. We don't really want that in our hand. So we get to Farseek. Basically, we're a fetch land away from polymorphing on turn 3. We can Farseek next turn, up to 3 mountains. And then any way to get a Dwarven Mining gets us to polymorph Creativity. Seems reasonable for a 6-card hand. And depending on what our opponent's doing, too. Removal spells can fizzle our polymorph. Look at that art. That donkey does not look super happy to be polymorphing. Spire Bluff Canal. Yep. And, alright. Looks like a control deck. Well, Scalding Tarn. Crack Scalding Tarn. Stomping Grounds. Untapped. Farseek for Steam Vents. Pass the turn. Well, now we'd love to get Teferi down. That would be our dream scenario here. Spire Bluff Canal. Opponent passes. That's not a fetch land. Well, we are going to try it. Boom, boom, boom. Teferi. You have a counter. Ugh. Is it charm? Alright. Well, tap land, go. That's not great. Opponent. Steam Vents. Untapped. Yikes. Okay, pass the turn. We're drawing all the polymorphs, but we're not drawing ways to make a token. No fetch land to get Dwarven Mining. Uh-oh. Is this Electrodominance for something? Yeah, Electrodominance. Huh. Crashing Footfalls. Sure. And an Opt. Ooh, we needed that Teferi. Opponent. Take it out Ancestral. Fiery Islet. Opponent. Combat. Gets in. Hits us. Do we even show our hand? I think we're just going to concede. We could like polymorph a Rhino, but I don't really want to show our... They might know, depending on how much they know Modern based on the Farseek, but we're just going to concede. Our opponent also gets to draw a bunch of cards. Ay. Well, that was... Yeah, we weren't going to draw anything. Still nothing. Still nothing. Huh. Well, opponent's playing... Is it Rhinos, I guess? Just... trying to cast free spells. How do we fight the free spells? Lightning Bolt. Actually, what are our worst spells? Rest in Peace. I don't think it does enough. They might have Finale of Devastation. Grudge doesn't do anything. So we probably want like Veil of Summer, Wear Tear, and maybe Through the Breach shenanigans. We'll go down to Braids. I don't think they do really anything at all. What about Lightning Bolts? Maybe we go down the Bolts too? I don't think our opponent's deck really plays creatures we can kill. It's all like rhinos and so forth. Silence does seem helpful. And then, yeah, I guess we go down 2 mana Morphos. Boom. Run it like that. All right. Well, we got more protection. We get the bad bolts out of the deck. We can't kill rhinos anyway. I think this is kind of like the Death Shadow matchup where we can't kill your 4/4s, so we just got to kill you. We'll play first. Yeah, all right. I guess we'll keep this. Little awkward. We're going to have to just play Mining on turn 1. But we have 2 cantrips, and Silence can be good against our opponent's deck. Like, if our opponent casts Electro Dominance, we can Silence, and our opponent can't cast the Electro Dominance spell, or whatever their, like, random suspend stuff is. Well, Mining go. It is a little depressing to play Dwarven Mining and not get any value from it, but it's what our hand requires of us. Island for our opponent. And Ancestral suspended. Well, Arid Mesa, go. Opponent taking down Ancestral. Hopefully we can get to Fairy on the battlefield before that. Steam Vents, untapped. Opponent's passing. Well, crack this. Take a... Ew. Steam Vents, untapped. Cycle Manamorphose. Ugh. Alright. Through the Breach. That's not a land. Land, please? New. Alright, pass the turn. Not a great position to be in. Ay. Our mana base is very weird because every land is a fetch land or a mountain, so we can't actually get like a Hallowed Fountain to have white and blue. That's just not something that our deck can do. Another Ancestral suspended. Opponent passes. Alright, there's a land. That's good. Pass the turn. I think we want to wait until we... Well, I think we just want to wait for the time being. Opponent taking down stuff. Blast Zone. Doesn't do much against us. Opponent passing. To Fairy. Now pass the turn. Stop on our opponent's upkeep. Opponent opts. So I think we're just going to try to Silence to fizzle this Ancestral Vision. Discard Creativity. Upkeep. Crack this. Sacred Foundry. Untapped. Silence you. Okay, opponent remands a Silence. We'll let that go. Ancestral comes down. We will try to remand Ancestral. Do you have more counters? Alright, so opponent, all the counters in the West. Gets an Ancestral, draws some cards. Well, we fought the good fight and lost. Misty. Opponent passing. Well, if they also have Spell Pierce, I'm going to be really upset. To Fairy. Opponent has Force of Negation. Oh, yeah. Losing that counter war by being behind on mana is most likely going to lose us this game. Pass the turn. Opponent takes down Ancestral again. Yeah, that was disastrous. Opponent. Dreadhorn Arcanist. And we took out all of our answers to that, unfortunately. Opponent passing. Well, I'm sure this is not going to work again, but to Fairy. Remand. Yeah. Alright. And yeah, I think this one's over. Ugh, that's unfortunate. Well, not much. Maybe there's something we could have done differently. Definitely tough to be the bad mana, no land deck in Counterspell Wars. That is very much not ideal, I would say. Opponent, gonna get him with Arcanist. We just don't have the resources to fight through what our opponent's doing. Going to opt. And now with the amount of cards in our opponent's hand, I assume that just anything we try to do just ends with it getting countered, unfortunately. Well, I feel like our deck has the tools to try to compete with what our opponent's doing, but not having the lands is where this match went wrong. We just haven't had enough mana to be able to cast the spells we need. It's a Farseek that we can't cast. Yeah, I'm getting pretty close to just conceding. Teferi. Because Teferi is just, like, lockdown against a lot of what our opponent's deck's doing. Force of Negation number 2. Well, we'll pass the turn. Opponent untaps. I'm kind of at the point where I'm just rooting for our opponent to make rhinos so they can kill us, because if we got to get beaten down for 13 more turns by a Dreadhorde Arcanist, Why every one of our spells gets countered. That's going to be a long and disappointing way for this match to finally end. Opponent, it's Astral Visions number 37, I think. Draw some more cards. Yeah, if we had one more mana, I think we could have won the counter war over the first Ancestral, and then that hopefully would have led us back into the game. Although, I guess, to be fair, we're 70 cards deep and still on 3 lands, so probably didn't matter. Opponent, Electro Dominance by the looks. Once our opponent plays Rhinos, I think we can scoop it up. Alright, Crashing Footfalls, sure. Well, alright. That wasn't great. Alright, much Abrew about nothing time. Yeah, I think we're just mulliganing. 2 Metamorphoses give us redraws, but ugh. Huh. Okay. Sure. I think this hand's actually maybe worse than our first one. Well, Silence to the bottom. I guess if there's good news with this hand, it's that we get to Farseek, and if we draw a fetch land, quick Indomitable Creativity. Soulscar Mage for our opponent. Our mana base is painful. Stomping Grounds, untapped. Farseek. Sacred Foundry, go. Well, let's see what happens. The other thing is we need our opponent to tap down because Lightning Bolt ruins our day. Opponent, Swift Spear. Lava Spike. Well, okay. Can we draw a fetch land to get a mine, to get creative? Come on, deck. Metamorphose, that's a redraw. Metamorphose. Fetch land. Red. Silence. Well, kill Soulscar Mage. Guess we start silencing on our opponent's turn because why not? I don't even know how much it does because our opponent can cast things as instants, but silence. Oh, we needed a fetch land that turn. We needed a fetch land. The issue now is, even if we draw a fetch land, our opponent's got mana up, so they can just bolt our... Alright, let's pass the turn. Our deck does worse when it does not get to... 4 lands, I've noticed. That's kind of the sweet spot. Silence. Bolt you. Well, we killed things. About it. Islet. Passes. Yeah, we gotta go for it. I'm expecting it to not work out, but we gotta try. Make a dork. Come on, no removal. Creativity? Alright, opponent's got the bolt. Pass the turn. Draws a card. Yeah, that is one of the downsides of this plan is... another Swift Spear. One of the downsides of the plan is... the token does die to... Oh, our opponent's not even playing the burn spell heavy version. Well, that's a little less lucky. Opponent gets in with Swift Spear. Down to 6. All the creativities, none of the dwarves to turn into Emeralds. Opponent cracks, draws a card. Yeah, that is one of the drawbacks of this combo, is it is very susceptible to removal in matchups like this. Opponent burst lightning, down to 4. Got more. Light up the stage, gonna draw some cards. Metamorphose Mountain, plays the Mountain, plays the Metamorphose, and that is lethal. Alright. Well, at least it was quick and relatively painless. Ugh. Yeah, decks that just have a ton of ways to kill 1/1s. Not the most ideal matchup. I guess that's probably another... So Veil of Summer doesn't do anything. Ancient Growth Through the Breach, Wretch in Peace. Ugh, we have, like, nothing that is helpful against this deck. Well, I guess we bring in the Breaches and the Emeralds to try to get around removal. We'll go down 2 creativities. Remand is not especially helpful. We'll go down remands, and I don't like that. At least, so Through the Breach is helpful here because it avoids what happened that game, where we try to polymorph the token, and it just gets killed by one of our opponent's infinite burn spells. Ugh, 0 lands. Ship it! Well, to Fairy Tribal. I guess we'll keep. I'm not encouraged by this hand, but we will keep. I mean, we got it Through the Breach, so in theory, if we can get to 5 mana and Emrakul, we could do a thing. Opponent. Opponent's clock is fast, though. Gets in with Swift Spear, hits us 19. We draw a mine. Well, Arid Mesa. Crack Arid Mesa. Stomping Grounds, untapped. Our mana base is incredibly painful, too, which complicates these aggro matchups quite a bit. We almost have to shock ourselves, unfortunately. Islet for our opponent. Combat. Gets in with the Swift Spear. Sure. Down to 15. Runaway Steam Kid. If only our mana was better. I think we just play Teferi, bounce Steam Kid, play the Mine, pass the turn. Burst Lightning, gonna take down our token, sure. Combat hits Teferi. Yeah, down to stay at 15. Emrakul, we need an Emrakul. Another Breach. Let's kill Swift Spear, pass the turn. Oh, is it worth? We might just silence. I think we're gonna silence. Upkeep, silence. Vote it. Passing. Well, pass the turn. Emrakul. We need one more land in Emrakul. I don't really want to run out to Teferi to its likely demise here. Opponent, Swift Spear. Combat. Attacks. Yeah, let's kill it. Stay at 15. Opponent passes. Alright, run it back. We keep drawing removal. No one's drawing lands. Opponent untaps. Steam Kid. Well, kill Steam Kid. Untap. Teferi. Take up Teferi. Alright, land or fetch land, or we just need a land. We need a land. Opponent. Lava Spikes Teferi. Alright, that does make it harder. 2 burn spells. Kills Teferi. We untap. Lightning Bolt. What a weird, just awkward, odd game. Opponent taps. Lightning Bolt's our face. Probably setting up Light Up the Stage. Light Up the Stage. Hits land and a Crash Through to draw a card. Ugh. Another Light Up the Stage. Crash through Steam Kid. Opponent passes. We're just drawing removal spell after removal spell, which I guess is like kinda sorta keeping us alive, but not really allowing us to win this game. So weird. It is like a weird draw. Opponent actually out card drawing us thanks to cast throughs and light up the stages. Apparently they're the control deck now. Alright, opponent. What are you gonna do? I mean, I guess the good news is we are keeping ourselves alive thanks to drawing just every single Abrade in our deck and a Bolt. There's a Steam Kid. Crash through. Well, we need to kill the Steam Kid. We don't want our opponent drawing a bunch of cards and then making a bunch of mana with Steam Kid and just kind of comboing. Yeah, opponent gets to draw with the cash through. They do have to cast the that's hard to say. Cast the crash throughs. That's what we're going for. Or they lose them. Opponent draws some cards and passes. So awkward. We have 8 of these spells in our deck. We start off with 1, I think, and we have to just draw them every single turn. Every single turn. It's just abrade, bolt, bolt, bolt. That's it. That's all we got. I guess we try to kill this now. I don't know if they can give it haste, but I'm a little afraid they could. Lava Dart's that's a good way to kill our 1/1s. Wow, light up the... Oh, boy. Oh, boy. All right, yep. Well, that's unfortunate. Yeah? Wow. Huh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I was trying to see if we could silence our way out of this. This probably almost assuredly still kills us, but I think polymorphing Bedlam Reveler is literally our only chance to survive, but I don't think it actually does it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this would be 5 power. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, that's still lethal. Yep. Well, what a weird deck. It's got power, but boy, can it be clunky sometimes. All right. Much brew about nothing time. We are creatively mining in Modern, and we're going to keep this. There are blowouts that just ruin our day, but this is, in theory, a turn 3 Emrakul hand. Turn 2 ramp. Turn 3 fetch land, Dwarven Mine, polymorph, turn the dwarf into a flying spaghetti monster. Seems possible. Opponent's also doing a bit of mulliganing. Aaron Mesa, you. We don't have any protection, really. I mean, we have a remand, but we don't have any way to protect our dwarf mountain for our opponent. Soul Scar Mage. Well, crack this. Stomping Grounds tapped. Untap. Iron Mesa. Crack it. Now the question is going to be, does our opponent tap out? That is the big question. If our opponent leaves mana up, they have infinite ways to disrupt our plan. Also, secondary question, do we top deck Emrakul and cry? That's another possibility. Farseek. Wow, is there a way we can bluff? I'm really tempted to take a Stomping Grounds and try to make our opponent think we're Scapeshift, or some sort of Primeval Titan deck, and then maybe they're less likely to leave up mana. But that means not getting his Steam Vents, which means we can actually cast half of our deck. Alright, whatever. If our opponent knows the deck and they play around it, then I guess that's good for them. The bluff probably does not have enough value to make it worth not being able to remand or polymorph. Opponent. Combat. Gets in with Soulscar Mage. Hits us. Down to 17. Light up the oh. No lands. No lands. Land and Bedlam Reveler. Plays a land. Oh, okay. Okay. Life is good. Life is great. I think we should have it. Bloodstained Mire. Crack it. Dwarven Mine. Get a 1/1. Polymorph our dwarf into a Emrakul. And your go, opponent. Apparently we can beat an aggro deck. We just need our opponent to tap out. I assume this is our opponent conceding. I can't imagine there's any actual way they can beat Emrakul here. Okay, no conceding. Well, pass the turn. All right, opponent, if you got a plan for beating Emrakul, you're welcome to try. Nice thing is, Emrakul cannot be targeted by... It has protection from colored spells, so our opponent cannot just, throw bolts at it to shrink it. I still think this is a really difficult matchup about it. But at least we're seeing that it is possible for us to win this matchup when things come together. And opponent, all right, cannot beat the Emrakul, scoops it up. All right, that's as fast as our deck can win. That is literally as fast as it can win. Turn 3 Emrakul is enough still in Modern, even in degenerate 2018, 2019, 2020 Modern. Emrakul remains good across ages. That is the nice thing about Emrakul. It's been good basically ever since it's been in the format, and has not changed yet. All right, so Silence is, I think, out. They just don't do enough. Remand is also not. Opponent doesn't have good remand targets. This is still, I think, a really challenging matchup. Do we want to bring in Rest in Peace? That's sort of counterintuitive, but it might actually be our best bet. It shuts down Bedlam Reveler. It shuts down some of our opponent's spells. It doesn't do anything to us. All right, yeah, let's try Rest in Pieces. I don't know if this is worth it or not. This is more, we have a lot of bad cards in this matchup, and Rest in Peace offers at least a little bit of value. Remand does not offer much value. Silence doesn't really offer that much value. The problem is, Silence offers value for trying to protect our creativity token. The problem is, it doesn't do it until turn 5, and turn 5 is just infinite against our opponent's deck. Well, I guess we keep this. We can put our Rest in Peace theory to a test, and we have a Lightning Bolt to kill Soulscar Mage. Yeah, there's a Polymorph. Land and bolt you. Pass the turn. Sunbaked Canyon. Lava Spike. Down to 17. And light up the stage. Oh, Kiln Fiend. That's a concern. Well, yeah. Iron Mesa, crack it. Sacred Foundry. Rest in Peace. Opponent gets to land and Kiln Fiend. Yeah, we need a removal spell for this. Kiln Fiend is a clock. Scalding Tarn go. Are we dead to Kiln Fiend? Opponent is lit. Bolt. Grows Kiln Fiend. Dart. Grows Kiln Fiend. Wow. All right. Sure. Good hand, opponent. Good hand. Oh, God. Oh, God. Well, that is kind of how I expect this matchup to go. Is Rest in Peace even enough? It wasn't great. It did stop our opponent from, doubling up all their Lava Dart damage, which I guess is something. Maybe if our opponent's playing... All right. let's go back up remands. Being on the play and knowing that our opponent's on a Kiln Fiend build, I think makes remand a little bit better. That is a card that we can actually remand with a somewhat straight face. Well, we can play first. Is there any chance this is enough? We get double cycle Manamorphose. No removal. Yeah, I think we mulligan. Alright. Well, we'll keep this. Yeah, opponent's keeping 7. Well, put a remand to the bottom. Steam Vents. Tapped. Go. Mountain for our opponent. And a Swift Spear. Yeah. It's us. Down to 19. Arid Mesa. Go. Mountain. Lava Dart. Well, bolt the Swift Spear. Light up the stage into Burst Lightning and Mountain. Alright. Crack Arid Mesa. Take a Sacred Foundry tapped. Stomping Grounds tapped. I don't think we're going to shock ourselves to play Teferi. We're just going to remand this turn. We'd really like to just draw into an Emrakul to go with this breach. Opponent plays a Mountain. Manamorphose. Okay. Burst Lightning. Crash Through. Well, this stuff would be more scary if our opponent actually had a creature. Crash Through. Alright. Opponent draws a bunch of cards. We're down to 15. Passes. Well, Sacred Foundry tapped. Pass the turn. Come on! Landed Emrakul. You can do it, Magic Gods. What do you got, opponent? I assume they're trying to set up for a Bedlam Reveler at some point. We are remanding this turn. Basically, no matter what, we gotta remand something. Opponent plays a land. Blood Moon. Well, that is worth remanding. Okay. Opponent passes. Now let's Farseek. Take a Steam Vents. Pass the turn. Emrakul. We need an Emrakul. Islet for our opponent. Blood Moon. Remand. Again. Well, there's a Mine. Kiln Fiend for our opponent. Opponent passes. Well, blue, white, whatever. Play Teferi. Bounce Kiln Fiend. Scalding Tarn. Crack Scalding Tarn. Dwarven Mine. Make a 1/1. Teferi. Take up Teferi. Pass the turn. Mountain. Blood Moon. That was expected. Kiln Fiend. And Lava Dart. Oh, we would like an Emrakul. We would like an Emrakul. Opponent. Passes. Oh. Alright, Teferi. I think this means we win. Teferi. Bounce Blood Moon. Draw a card. Play Dwarven Mine. Make a 1/1. Polymorph into Emrakul. And then just in case, Lightning Bolt Kiln Fiend. Alright, I think we might have got there. Through the Blood Moons, oddly, I think our opponent going on the Blood Moon plan actually really helped us. If our opponent just focused on killing us, I think this is a really bad matchup for us. But with our opponent taking several turns off to try to Blood Moon us, I feel like the matchup greatly shifted in our favor. Opponent crash through, drawing as many cards as possible. Blood Moon, that's acceptable. I don't think we need anything else at this point. Opponent passes. I'll take up Teferi. Go to combat. Attack our opponent. I mean, maybe our opponent can kill us. Gonna sack the Blood Moon. And a bunch of other stuff. Yup. Play Bloodstained Mire. Yeah, I guess we Farseek. Keep thin in the deck. And pass the turn. Alright, opponent. Can you 14 us somehow? Opponent. I don't think they can. Scoops it up. Okay. Whoo! So we finish feeding the kids with the 3 and 2. It was not always easy along the way, but we got there. And the deck showed its power, and it showed that we can even beat some of those hard matchups, like Mono Red Prowess or Mono Red whatever. All right, let's crack our treasure chest. Now this deck's interesting. It is definitely unique. That is for certain. All right. Well, 1 treasure chest. Not a feast like our 5-0 last time we played Modern, but a little snack for the children. All right. What do we get? Full set? Deflection. Change the target of a spell with a single target. This is an example of a card that'll almost never be good because we've gotten just basically strict upgrades to it. I know like Insidious will, I think I would consider, yeah, not technically a strict upgrade because it's double blue instead of single blue, but basically if you want this effect in your commander deck, there's just cards that have been printed that do this, but do it better and offer more flexibility. 50 play points is fine though. Well, all right. Yeah, we got creative. We did some mining and finished with a winning record somehow. Yeah, all right. Be back with the wrap up. So what do we learn this week about creative mining in Modern? And we played a league with the deck. We went 3-2, which, yeah, pretty decent record. And overall, boy, this deck is interesting. So few notes I would say on the deck. It's powerful. I mean, turn 3 Emrakul, it's still really good. Turn 4 Emrakul, good in most matchups. So the power of cheating Emrakul into play early is really good. I know one of the things people said when I posted the deck tech on this deck was, well, just Dwarven Mine isn't enough. We need more token production, and that wasn't usually a problem. We had some weird games where we just like never drew lands, which, that's Magic, that happens sometimes. But really, because all of our fetch lands, and we have so many fetch lands in this deck, 11 of them in all, because all of those end up representing Dwarven Mine, which represents a token, which we could then polymorph for creativity into Emrakul. That normally wasn't an issue. So I think just Dwarven Mine was fine. One of the things I didn't like about the deck is the mana banks can be pretty clunky. I thought Manamorphose was kind of just like, it's in the deck to cantrip and reduce the size of our deck, but it's actually kind of relevant at some points to be able to cast our spells. The other thing about the deck is the plan of polymorphing is really risky, which is why we have the Teferis, which is why we have Silence. So I think the biggest challenge of this deck is knowing when do you just have to go for it? When do you have to fetch out your land, get the token off of Dwarven Mine, just run out a polymorph and like cross your fingers and be like, all right, Magic Gods, please no fatal pushes or lightning bolts or lava darts, whatever, no removal on our token, because that is really painful. That's almost a game losing line a lot of times when you put all this effort in deck building into making a token with Dwarven Mine and put many of your resources into polymorphing that token into an Emrakul, only to have it get blown out for like 1 mana. That's often going to just lose the game on the spot, which means figuring out when you have to not do that, and when you gotta wait and try to kill on turn 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 by first getting a Teferi or a Silence is actually one of the big challenges of playing this deck, and knowing the matchups, knowing the metagame, all that kind of stuff really plays into it, because as we saw in some of our matchups, like the Death Shadow matchup, our first match, that was a great example, by waiting and getting a Teferi and being able to end step when our opponent can't do anything because we have Teferi, polymorph away our token, that allowed us to win a game that otherwise we probably would not have won. So the deck is very interesting to play compared to a lot of polymorph decks that we've played in the past. The fact that you don't have to play bad quote-unquote token producers, and all you gotta do is kind of warp your mana base a little bit to make Dwarven Mine make your token, I think is a nice upside to the deck. The deck is certainly powerful. I'm not sure I played it 100% well. Also a little bit weird, the interaction that's in the deck. 4 lightning bolts and 4 braids, and the silences. It's a very weird interaction package. We ran into a couple of games against, like, Is It Rhinos was a good example, and also our match against Death Shadow, where our opponent plays a big creature, and we're just like, ugh, like, we can't do anything about this. How do we deal with a 4/4? All of our stuff only deals 3 damage. So maybe it's worth having some other interactions somewhere in the deck. The deck could play Wrath, it could play Anger of the Gods, it could play Lava Coils or Roast to kill slightly bigger creatures. It could play Path to Exile to just get rid of anything. So it might be worth adding some different removal for other matchups, because that was a concern. It felt like we're never going to beat that Is It Rhino deck, and obviously we can beat anything. If our opponent can't interact with us, we just Emrakul and win, and that can beat most decks in the format. The other weird thing about this deck, we talked about the token getting killed in response problem. The other weird thing is some decks can actually deal with our Emrakul. That made our copycat matchup really sketchy, because we do all this to get an Emrakul, and then our opponent can just like Teferi Time Raveler, bounce our Emrakul. So there are a lot of things to consider with this deck. But my overall feelings on this deck is that it's very powerful. It is definitely weird, and the way it's built is very unique. It can win games really quickly, but it also can be very challenging to play well, and it does get blown out by certain things. So if you do decide you want to try to do some creative mining of your own, this is another one of those decks where you got to put in the reps, because it's very easy to get blown out if you don't play carefully, and it's got a lot of just weird, strange cards and lines in it. But overall, it is a super spicy deck, and being super spicy and being fairly competitive, that's a pretty sweet place to be in Modern. So anyway, that's been our Much Abrew for this week. Creative mining for Modern. Thank you so much for watching. watching. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.